Welcome to your September 24th stimulus check update and stimulus package news report. Today, I'm going to address the stimulus package news. I'm going to talk about the second stimulus check, where it's at, where we currently stand, and I also want to explain how Republicans can ultimately bypass Nancy Pelosi and pass targeted stimulus. It's big news, it's very important, and I want to clarify everything going forward. Also, before I do that, there has been a lot of rumors floating around, not only just on YouTube, on social media, on Facebook, and through mainstream media. And these rumors that are floating around are not completely accurate. So let me give you some examples, and I'm going to talk about these four things later on in this video. These four things. First off, we have a $3,400 stimulus check. You heard it right, $3,400 for a stimulus check. I want to address that. The numbers are somewhat accurate, however, they're being put out there over the internet, and it's just false information that I want to clarify, and I'll do that today. Also, hazard pay. Hazard pay is getting approved. It is, however, it's another one of those things, another one of those tactics that some of these media sites, YouTubers are doing this as well. They are using these numbers, using these headlines to get you to click. Also, the stimulus bill was passed on Tuesday. This is another one that I've been seeing a lot of lately. I want to address this and explain where this is coming from, and also the October 1st stimulus deadline. This is a big one, and I want to clarify where this is coming from and how this ultimately affects you and I. Now, I don't want people feeding you false hopes. I don't want people giving you bad information. So I'm going to clarify all of this stuff in just a minute. First, let's address how Republicans, the House minority, could ultimately bypass Nancy Pelosi and pass a bill within the House. First, Jamie Herrera from Washington State. She's a congresswoman. She's also a Republican. She is seeking to file a discharge petition Friday, September 25th. That's tomorrow. That's the earliest she can file this discharge petition. Now, what this discharge petition allows her to do is just put a motion or speed up the process to get a bill on the floor. Essentially, all she needs in order to file this is 218 signatures. Right now, there's 198 Republicans. That means she needs 20 Democrats to sign this petition in order to get a vote whether or not to see the bill on the floor. Not to pass a bill, just to see it. So, once she gets those 218 signatures, which many expect she already has the numbers, once she gets that, a vote will take place whether to bring the bill to the floor or not. Again, all she would need is a simple majority, which is 218 votes. There's 435 members inside the House. She only needs 51%. Now, this bill is going to be heard and voted on if this passes. Okay, that means again 218 votes in order to pass this. Now, the only piece of legislation within this bill is just going to be PPP funding for small businesses that have been hurt and have seen a decline of 25% or more. That is it. There's no stimulus checks, there's no unemployment extension, there's no school funding, no rental assistance, nothing like that. It's just PPP funding for small businesses. And the reason why they're doing this, for one, is many small businesses are now closing down because they have run through their PPP funding. They don't have any more money. They cannot stay open. They cannot stay operating. So because of that, this congresswoman from Washington State is seeking to extend PPP funding for these small businesses. Now, this can be really good. And I stated this in a video I did yesterday, and I will link to that video down in the description box below as well. But what I stated was, if this passes, this could potentially lead to maybe a discharge petition for stimulus checks. It could be a discharge petition for unemployment. Could be a discharge petition for state and local government funding. It could be anything. And by doing this now, with a week or so before the October 2nd, somewhat deadline, this gives them enough time to actually see this, vote on this, and hopefully kick it over to the Senate for a vote there as well. Now, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, he's a Republican. He is daring Democrats currently to join them in their fight to help their constituents. As of right now, whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, if you're a member of Congress, you are probably doing absolutely nothing because your constituents, the residents in your state, they need help. They need more funding. As of right now, they're not seeing it from the government. On the other hand, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says this. This right here is an exact quote. "I hope no Democrat signs the discharge petition that is being proposed, which will certainly help some, but will leave everybody else in the lurch. This also turns over control of the House floor to the other party, the minority party." So, this just goes to show that this is not about helping the American people. It's about having power and being the one to provide stimulus at the right time. I've been saying this for about a month, that Democrats want to be the party that passes stimulus checks, unemployment, funding for schools, for more health care, state and local government funding, all this stuff. Because if they pass it, that would actually help out Joe Biden. But if it doesn't look like it's coming from the Democrats, then it actually helps out President Trump in his re-election campaign. That's not something Democrats want at this point. Now, top-level economists are saying this. The time is now to provide stimulus. Waiting until after the election only benefits those that don't need the help. And this is something that I've been saying. This is something that another YouTuber, Meet Kevin, he's been saying this. Clear Value Tax, Stephen Gardner, they've all been saying this exact same thing. Currently, the things that are being proposed and being thrown out there are pretty much helping the rich, not the poor. And it needs to be the poor that are being helped right now. Now, one economist said this. Every day, and I don't know if this is how accurate this is. However, it's an economist. This is what he does. So, taking his word for it. One economist said, every day that passes without additional stimulus will likely add on 5 days to the overall recovery. That means, as of today, we are 41 days away from the election. So from today until election day, that means if no stimulus is passed, we would essentially be adding on 205 added days to the economic recovery. That is huge, and that is not something that we can do. That's not something we can afford to do at this point. Now, Congress knows the probable outcome, yet they don't seem as worried because they know where their next paycheck is coming from. They know how much it's going to be. The majority of Congress gets $174,000 per year. I believe Nancy Pelosi gets $224,000 per year. All these people are fairly well off. And most of America is not afforded this luxury. Most of Americans do not know when their next check is coming, and they do not know how much it's going to be. There's still 30 million Americans on unemployment, and some of those people are not receiving their unemployment benefits, that unemployment check, in a timely manner. That is a huge problem. Now, let me address these rumors. Let me address the rumors that I keep hearing, that people keep saying. And this is not just people on YouTube. This is people on YouTube. This is people on social media like Twitter and Facebook. This is also Main Street media. Okay? So let's first address the $3,400 stimulus check. First off, that number is not completely false, but it's not completely accurate either. This is not a single check for $3,400. In most cases, the way that people are coming up with this number is they're adding 2 adults and 2 children. That's 4 people. 2 adults, okay, 1 filer and their spouse is $1,200 a piece. That's $2,400 for stimulus checks. And then to add 2 kids, 2 dependents, That's $500 a piece. It's $1,000. That is where $3,400 is coming from. However, as of right now, there's no stimulus check coming. There are still reports that it's most likely going to happen, but it might not happen until after the election or possibly in January. So that's one thing I want to keep you updated on, and I promise you I'm going to do that every single day till a stimulus check is passed. I'm going to bring you an update so that you know when you might see it, what is the new news, and when you might come to expect it. So also, there's another number that people keep throwing around. That's $1,800 stimulus checks. Like $1,800 stimulus checks are gone, depleted, approved, whatever. These checks are referring to the 6 weeks of the $300 federal unemployment. That is it. It's not a new stimulus check. It's technically stimulus. I guess it comes in the form of a check, but I would not classify that as a stimulus check. I'd classify that as stimulus. It's there to stimulate the economy. The next rumor that I want to address is hazard pay getting approved. Yes, hazard pay has been getting approved, not at a federal level. At a state level, it's been approved for Pennsylvania and Louisiana. Those are the two states that have passed hazard pay for their frontline workers. Only frontline workers. I believe Louisiana was giving $350. I can't remember exactly what Pennsylvania was giving, but I think it was like $1,000 or $1,500. So don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I looked at that, because Pennsylvania has, and both of those states, it's been over a month since those were approved. Now, there are new hazard pay for essential workers getting approved, and that will come at more of a local level, your local government, your city and your county, and those are getting approved as we speak. The funds here are normally anywhere from like $500 for like a part-time city worker to up to $2,500 for a firefighter, first responder, paramedic, police officer, somebody like that. Also, the odds of federal hazard pay getting approved is very low. Many experts believe it is at less than 2%. However, some say it's at under 5%. Both are very low. Now, the new stimulus bill that was passed on Tuesday. We're at Thursday, right? So the past 2 days, I've been seeing people saying stimulus package passed on Tuesday, passed Tuesday night, whatever. Stimulus package was not passed. The bill that was passed by the House only at this point was the continuing resolution bill. That was it. And really the only stimulus here was the farm aid and nutrition assistance. That was it. That was all the stimulus that was in that bill. It's just meant to keep the government funded for the next however many months. I don't know, like 2 months or whatever, right? So this bill hasn't been voted on by the Senate yet. The Senate is saying that, or their aides have been saying that it's being looked at by senators and their staff, and there will most likely be a vote within the Senate either today, Thursday, or maybe tomorrow, which is Friday. The last rumor that I want to address. This is a big one because a lot of people are worried that we're coming up on this deadline, the October 1st stimulus package deadline. Well, the true deadline is actually October 2nd. And the reason why this is a deadline is because that is when the Senate, after October 2nd, they are expected to go on recess. That is when they have their scheduled recess so they can go and do their campaigning for the upcoming election. The House is expected to go on recess on October 9th. However, both branches have vowed to come back to Washington to vote on any stimulus package. The Senate will come back to Washington, to Capitol Hill, to vote on the upcoming nominee from President Trump for the Supreme Court Justice. If they leave Washington early, they will come back. They have about 24 hours after they are called back to be back at Capitol Hill. Also, this deadline only refers to when they will be on Capitol Hill. They can still work elsewhere. They can still work in California and Florida and Texas and Wyoming and Washington and everywhere else. They do not have to be in Capitol Hill. But to pass something, to vote on it, they have to be back in Washington. Now today I expect there to be a lot of updates hopefully from Nancy Pelosi. Tomorrow I guarantee there's going to be something. So just understand, I'm going to keep giving you another stimulus update so that you can follow along where we're at, currently what's going on. As of right now, we haven't heard anything from President Trump regarding executive orders, so be on the lookout for that. My guess is we will hear something probably within the next week. Probably at some point next week, we will hear President Trump mention an executive order. If he doesn't, expect Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, to mention an executive order. So there you guys go. That is your stimulus package update, your second stimulus check update, and stimulus news report for Thursday, September 24th. Can you do me a favor? If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, give this video a like. Also, feel free to share this video with your friends and family over on Facebook so they too can stay updated on all stimulus matters. But again, thank you for watching. Feel free to click that subscribe button so you can stay updated as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.